When Albert Pujols launched his 700th career home run in September, it was a moment for baseball fans to savor. No one had expected the aging slugger to reach that milestone, or to hit 24 home runs in his 22nd final season, but Pujols did just that, becoming only the fourth player in MLB history to reach 700 home runs, and the first since Barry Bonds way back in 2004. And it may be quite a while before another slugger joins Pujols, Bonds, Babe Ruth, and Hank Aaron in one of the game's most exclusive clubs. So, exactly how long is a while? Who among the current crop of players even has a chance of reaching that illustrious milestone? First, let's talk about how rare an accomplishment hitting 700 home runs really is. By the time Pujols blasted number 700, more than 20,000 players had appeared in the major leagues in its history, and just four had ever accomplished the feat. And it typically takes years, even decades, before a new member of the 700 club is inducted. Nearly 40 years passed between Babe Ruth becoming the first player to reach the milestone, and Hank Aaron hitting number 700. Another 31 years before Bonds hit his milestone dinger, and 18 more years after that for Pujols to reach that mark. So how did these four sluggers manage it? What are some of the keys to hitting 700 dingers? Key number 1, get off to an early start. Hank Aaron was a regular major leaguer at age 20, Pujols and Bonds by age 21. Ruth, who entered the big leagues as a pitching phenom, did not become a full-time hitter until he was 24, but soon made up for lost time, blasting 50 or more home runs in 4 seasons. However, he also was playing back when spitballs were still legal. In short, the earlier you get started, the better. Key number 2, longevity. All 4 of the 700 club members played at least 22 seasons in the major leagues, playing until their 40s. That's a feat in of itself, but of course, pure longevity is nothing unless you are also consistent. But before we get into that, I'd like to take a second to talk about something I know will perform well long term, at least when it comes to skincare, Tiege Hanley. They've helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Their level 1 system, which has been the most helpful to me personally, comes with all the basics. A daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. The thing I found helpful about Tiege Hanley is the instruction card that comes with every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Additionally, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, the ability to pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. Healthy skin has never been simpler, and because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description or pinned comment, and you'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Click that link and get started on your healthy skin journey today. Now, back to our video. Which brings me to our third key, consistency. Pujols, Aaron, Ruth, and Bonds all had home run rates that remained reasonably high over the course of their careers. Pujols and Aaron each had a pace of 37 home runs per 162 games over their respective careers, according to Baseball Reference. Bonds had an even higher rate of 41, and Ruth, the highest, with 46 per 162 games. This does not, however, mean that all 4 men took the same path to 700. Pujols front-loaded his career output, hitting 366 of his 700 over the first 9 seasons he played. Ruth and Bonds, on the other hand, hit most of their tanks after the age of 30, with Ruth hitting 430 of his 714, and Bonds hitting remarkably 503 of his 762. Hank Aaron, one of the most consistent hitters in baseball history, kept a remarkably uniform pace over his 23 years in the game. Fun fact, Hammer and Hank never eclipsed even 50 home runs in a season. Now, of course, a lot has changed over the years, especially since Babe Ruth was launching moonshots. The modern game makes it hard for sluggers to amass home run totals like this year in and year out. Pitchers are faster, nastier, and better informed than ever before, and hitters don't usually get that 3rd or 4th at bat against a tiring starter the way they used to. Longevity is also very challenging today. Even with better training methods that can extend careers, teams value younger talent more than ever, and with the ban on performance-enhancing drugs, it's harder for modern hitters, even of the caliber of Pujols, to perform consistently well into their 30s and early 40s the way some did 15 to 20 years ago. So, is it unlikely that we will see another baseball player hit 7 home runs again anytime soon? Let's dig into the numbers. Who has the best chance to be the next MLB player to hit 700 home runs? Here's some prime candidates. Let's go in order of those who I think have the greatest shot to accomplish this feat. First up, we have the already legendary Mike Trout. Trout has already proven he is one of the best to ever play the game, and as of today, he's finished his age 30 season with 350 career home runs already mashed. How many did the current 700 club have at age 30? Pujols, the quick starter, had 408, Aaron 366, Ruth 309, and Bonds, the late bloomer, 292. So, Trout is on track. He started young, and he's not only been consistent, he's arguably just gotten better. Since his first few years in the league, Trout has trimmed his strikeout rate, bolstered his walks, and is hitting balls even harder and more solidly if you look at advanced metrics like percent barrel rates. So, assuming he can continue to hit home runs at the same pace, 40 homers per 162 games so far, it would take him 9 more seasons to surpass the milestone when he's about 40 years old. But again, consistency and a great start are not enough. There's also longevity, and that could be an issue for Trout. For the first 5 years of his career, Trout was incredibly durable, but he has missed a lot of time since, playing in less than 200 games since the pandemic-shortened 2020 season. That's a huge chunk of time during his prime years when he should have been running up some of the biggest numbers of his career, and he had to spend it rehabbing. And things are not looking any better on the injury front for Trout as he moves into his 30s. He was recently diagnosed with a rare spinal condition, one that won't get any better with time. But if there's one thing we've learned from watching Mike Trout over the years, it's don't underestimate what the guy is capable of doing on a baseball field. He's been as solid a hitter as there's ever been in this game, and once he's moved from center field to one of the corner outfield spots, and maybe eventually a DH role, there will also be less daily wear and tear on his body, which could boost his late career home run production as well. Next up, for my money, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Guerrero started blasting dingers young, age 20, setting the MLB record for the most homers by a player 22 or younger. And today, he's already reached 104 by the age of 23. If the Blue Jay can average 36 home runs over the next 17 years, he will cross the magic 700 threshold in his 21st season at age 40. That's a long ways away, and no matter how improbable it may seem, it's not impossible. The first question for Guerrero Jr. will be consistency. In his first full season in the majors in 2021, he lit up the skies over Toronto, blasting 48 home runs. But the young star came back to earth in 2022 across a number of offensive categories, including dropping literally a third of his homers, from that high water mark of 48 to 32. This was in part because pitchers started to figure out better ways to pitch to him, throwing him fewer strikes and more balls down in the zone. Can Vlad Jr. adjust, or will the 48 home runs prove to be an outlier? Remember, the Angels' Troy Gloss hit 47 dingers at age 23 in 2000, and then began a slow power decline that ended in him not even reaching 400 homers. He didn't have Vladdy Jr.'s pedigree, but it's still an interesting comp, and hey, I'll use any chance I can to bring up Troy Gloss. Again, the key will be longevity, and good starts often fade considerably over time. After all, Vlad Jr.'s own father started at a similar pace early in his career, and wound up retiring at age 36 with 449 home runs. Another slugger who has demonstrated his historic home run chops is the biggest what-if on this list, and the most fun candidate in my opinion, outfielder Aaron Judge, who blasted an AL record 62 dingers in 2022. Judge, much like Ruth, was a late bloomer at the plate, not becoming a regular major league hitter until age 24, then dealing on and off with injuries. But at age 30, Judge still has somehow hit 220 home runs, at an astonishing rate of 49 per 162 games played. If Judge can somehow continue that incredible pace, he has a chance at 700. In fact, if he averaged one less at 48 home runs over the next 10 years, he would have exactly 700 at the age of 40. But can Judge pull it off? His late start is one strike against him, but he's also had the aforementioned injury issues. Between playing incredible full seasons in 2017, when he hit 52 dingers as a rookie, and last year, when he hit 62 to break the AL record, Judge missed 156 games due to various injuries, shoulder, elbow, Achilles, calf, and more. That's almost a full season of games during which he could have been in the prime of his career. And regardless of the cause of any particular injury, experts will tell you that one of the best predictors of future injury is past injury. Plus, Big Aaron isn't getting any younger. With very few exceptions, large ball players like the 6'7" Judge often decline rapidly in performance during their 30s, from Dave Winfield to Dave Kingman to Richie Sexson and Darryl Strawberry. When Aaron Judge stays healthy, he mashes, but averaging 48 home runs per year over the next 10 years, a pace faster than even Ruth's, will be a huge challenge for the huge player. However, getting some much-needed DH time after fellow slugger Giancarlo Stanton retires or leaves via free agency will surely help in the pursuit. And the final player I believe has an outside chance at 700 is Juan Soto. Soto got off to an early and epic start, slugging 22 home runs at just 19 years old back in 2018. Now 23, Soto has 125 career home runs. That's more than Guerrero and even Pujols had at that stage. But so far, Soto's career high is 34 in 2019, and in the past 2 full seasons since the pandemic, he's failed to reach even 30 home runs. So, Soto will need to pick up the pace, and he could soon fall well behind if he doesn't. Albert Pujols, in his age 24 season, hit 46. The next year, 41. The year after that, 49. If Soto is going to reach 700, he will need to hit 36 per year over the next 16 years. Which is possible, but it seems to be expecting quite a lot from a young player to not only break his career high in dingers, but do that every year until he's baseball's version of old and gray. Soto is also walking a lot more than when he came into the majors. That's great for his team and his on-base percentage, but leaves fewer at-bats for bashing home runs. That's not to say he can't lead the league in walks and home runs, like Barry Bonds once did, but he's yet to even approach that comparison, even if his hat size has managed to stay consistent. So the verdict is still out on Soto. But he does stay healthy and has played a lot of games, and is still incredibly young, so make sure not to count him out. Mike Trout, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. These 4 hitters top my list of potential future 700 Club members. In my honorable mentions, I want to detail a few players briefly, starting with Giancarlo Stanton, who is 33 and already has 378 career bombs, coming in at a nutso 43 per 162 games. But over the last few years, like Judge, the 6'6" Stanton has been hampered by injuries, and frankly, I'm not fully convinced he has the bat and ball skills to age well even if he were to stay healthy. Sorry, Giancarlo. Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are 2 other young stars that came up early at age 19, and both have hit more than 280 home runs before the age of 30. To reach 700 at their current pace, each would have to hit about 33 home runs over the next 13 seasons, by which time they would be about 42. Doable in theory? Maybe, but since baseball stopped being broadcasted principally on radios, there have been vanishingly few players who've been that effective that old. Hitting home runs is hard, and hitting more than 700 at the big league level is downright daunting. Many a Hall of Fame superstars flamed out before 700 despite showing early signs of crossing the threshold. Remember, early in his career, slugger Ken Griffey Jr. looked like he might cruise to every home run record in the book, with 438 long balls by age 30, the most that a big leaguer had ever hit at that age. But the kid slowed down considerably in his 30s, ending with a respectable 630 home runs in his 22-year career. An amazing accomplishment, but still well short of 700. By the time he was 30, Alex Rodriguez had even eclipsed Griffey Jr.'s pace, launching 464 home runs. But Rodriguez's next decade saw injuries, controversies, and slowdowns, including missing an entire year with a suspension for using PEDs. By the time he had finished his own 22-year career, he had come up tantalizingly short of 700, with 696. So, will Pujols be the last slugger to join the 700 club? Probably not. But we could be waiting around a decade for the next wave of possible players, like Mike Trout or Aaron Judge, to break the threshold. Or closer to 2 decades for the youngest sluggers in the game, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Juan Soto, to even approach the milestone. So, who do you think will be the next player to hit 700? Tell us in the comments below. Once again, thanks for watching, and have a great day, everyone.